In order to train as hard as possible, you must retain a clear image of your purpose. Once your goal is sharply but realistically defined, all that remains is carrying out your plan. Don't, however, worry about your individual potential. Potential is only the expression of a possibility, something that can be assessed accurately only in retrospect. In other words, you'll never know how good you might have become unless you try.
They say more is better, right? But what if everything you've been taught about training intensity is completely wrong? Mike Mentzer's radical approach to bodybuilding defied decades of tradition, and the science might just back him up. All right, so today we're diving deep into one of the most controversial figures in bodybuilding history, Mike Mentzer. If you've been in the bodybuilding game for a while, you've definitely heard of him. Known for his legendary physique and unique training philosophy, Mentzer turned the traditional bodybuilding world on its head. His ideas weren't just controversial, they were downright revolutionary. In this video, we're going to break down whether Mike Mentzer's training style was right all along, and more importantly, we'll show you the scientific proof that might change the way you look at your own training. Most of us have been taught that building muscle is all about volume. You hear it all the time. More sets, more reps, and more time in the gym equals more gains, right? But here's the problem. What if that's not only unnecessary, but could actually be holding you back? That's where Mike Mentzer comes in with his heavy-duty training system, which pushed the idea of fewer sets and less time in the gym, but with way more intensity. For decades, people thought he was crazy. I mean, everyone else was training for hours on end, hitting body parts multiple times a week, while Mentzer was saying, do less, but do it harder. This raises the ultimate question. Was everyone else wrong, and was Mentzer onto something this whole time? Let's break down what made Mentzer's heavy-duty training so different. Mentzer believed that most people were overtraining. His approach was simple. Train each muscle group with only a couple of high-intensity sets, using extremely slow and controlled movements, and then take longer recovery periods before hitting the same muscle group again. He thought you could actually stimulate more growth by giving your muscles proper time to recover and grow after a very intense workout, rather than hitting them repeatedly with high-volume training. Now, at first glance, this might sound counterintuitive. I mean, how are you supposed to get big if you're not putting in hours and hours of work at the gym? Well, that's where science steps in. There's a growing body of research that backs up Mentzer's core ideas. Studies on muscle hypertrophy, the process of building muscle mass, show that intensity matters more than volume. In fact, research suggests that performing fewer sets with near maximal effort, like Mentzer's heavy-duty system, can stimulate more muscle fibers and lead to greater muscle growth compared to traditional high-volume workouts. One study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that lower volume but higher intensity workouts can produce similar, if not better, muscle gains than the more conventional high-volume routines. The study followed two groups, one doing low-volume, high-intensity workouts, and the other doing higher-volume training. The results? The low-volume group showed comparable, sometimes even better, gains in muscle size and strength. This flies in the face of what most of us have been told. The idea that you can train less and still get bigger and stronger seems like a dream come true. But Mentzer understood that it wasn't about being lazy. It was about being smart with your training. He focused on pushing every set to absolute failure, meaning that when you finish a set, you physically can't do another rep with good form. This level of intensity is where most people fall short in the gym, but it's also where the magic happens in terms of muscle stimulation. So, what does this mean for you? Well, it suggests that you might not need to be in the gym for hours every day to build an impressive physique. Instead, focusing on intensity, form, and proper recovery could give you similar, or even better, results. Now, here's the game changer. Mentzer believed in long recovery periods. He recommended taking several days, even a week, before training the same muscle group again. That might sound extreme, but recent studies show that most people actually don't allow their muscles enough time to recover fully between workouts. The science is clear. Muscles need time to repair and grow after being pushed to their limits. If you're training too frequently, you might not be giving them the time they need to reach their full potential. One particularly interesting study published in Physiology Reports highlights that prolonged rest between intense training sessions can maximize muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to repair and grow muscles. This aligns perfectly with Mentzer's philosophy. He was ahead of his time, promoting a balance between intensity and recovery long before science caught up. The science supports it, and Mentzer himself was living proof. At his peak, he had one of the most impressive physiques in bodybuilding. He even won the 1979 Mr. Olympia heavyweight division, beating out some of the best bodybuilders of that era. You can't argue with results like that. So, was Mike Mentzer right all along? Based on the science we've discussed, it sure looks like it. His heavy-duty training system wasn't just some crazy idea. It was rooted in principles that are now supported by scientific research. Fewer sets, higher intensity, and longer recovery periods might just be the key to unlocking your muscle-building potential. If you've been grinding away in the gym for hours, week after week, and not seeing the gains you want, maybe it's time to rethink your approach. Try dialing back the volume and cranking up the intensity, just like Mentzer suggested. And remember, recovery is just as important as the workout itself. You can't grow if you don't rest. If you want to learn more about optimizing your workouts, hit that subscribe button, or check out this next video where we dive into common workout myths that are holding you back.